this time, we're taking a look at a few Justice League Unlimited figures that Aether69, who was kind enough to surprise me with when he found some stuff that I was looking for and shipped it out to me. And these guys were in with that stuff. And very, very fun. It's something that I wasn't expecting. So let's take a look at them. First, we're going to look at Plastic Man. And Plastic Man comes with one accessory. It seems to be a repainted accessory from some other figures, as it's looks like a bent steel beam, but it is repainted to look like Plastic Man. So neat little accessory. And so yeah, he looks pretty cool. Funny thing is that Plastic Man did not make an appearance on the show. He is mentioned. He stands pretty well for a Justice League Unlimited figure, which these guys are notorious for not standing. And so the second figure is actually from the Batman Beyond series, and it's Superman in his future suit with the Starro, the Starfish Conqueror, the Star Conqueror, attached to him, and Starro comes off, and you can see neat little details of the suckers on the other side. I thought that was cool. Here you get his little futuristic blend of the Superman suit and a Kryptonian suit, and you can tell that he is a little bit older. He's got some gray hair back there. And again, these figures not really too posable, just at the shoulders and hips and head. The figures are very good design-wise. And put that back on. Now, these are not my first Justice League Unlimited figures. I was a big fan of both, all the Batman animated series, but when I started getting into figures, collecting figures again, it was towards the end of the Batman show and the very beginning of the Justice League show. So I did have a foray into the first set of Justice League Unlimited, or I should say Justice League figures. So the first initial series of Justice League figures came with these bases that would form the words Justice League all together. If you got I believe it was the first two waves. So I got these four figures initially. Of course, we got Batman, Superman, the John Stewart Green Lantern, and the Flash. All the bases had each had a symbol here, a piece of the Justice League words, and spots where you could line up the other bases, and a little spot where they had cards that you could put, and the stand, the peg for the figure. One of the reasons why I stopped getting these guys was because they decided to come out with more posable versions of the characters in later waves. So that's why I only have these four, and off to the side here you can't see her, is Hawk Girl. had great designs and were very true to the show, but they couldn't stand up really on their own without the bases, and that was really bad. And see here, he'll fall down. All these guys will either lean forward or backwards too much, and so we'll try and get all these guys standing. These guys just couldn't stand because their ankles were too thin, and they're made out of too soft a plastic. So that's one of the problems I had with this line, and didn't really continue it. They stopped giving you bases with the figures as well. Now, I didn't stop immediately, because I did pick up the extra articulated Superman and Batman. You can see they added elbow joints and knee joints. Unfortunately, they did not do the newer characters with this added articulation. And then after a while, they stopped doing that with the major characters as well. So I do have the Manhunter. You notice that there might be something a little bit odd about him. That's because he has this shape-shifting gimmick where you can pull off his sort of heroic form, and underneath plug his head that he came with extra, and there you have a Martian looking John Jones Martian Manhunter. Pretty neat thing. They really didn't come with any accessories to start with, and now they got a lot better later on. He's also added a waist joint. I forgot. Production shifted into the Justice League Unlimited mode. They introduced a lot more characters and a wider range of characters from all parts of the DC universe. So you get characters like Hawk and Dove, which were featured in, I believe, the second episode. And you can tell these guys, they can't even stand on their own. So featured very heavily in the series was Green Arrow. For the line, he has a lot of accessories. He comes with an arrow and a bow. You know, I don't think they could have gotten away with a Green Arrow without giving him a bow and arrow. He too does not stand. So I also picked up the Atom. I love the Atom in this series. Again, doesn't stand, so you have to lean him. The Atom, he came with a little mini version of himself. That doesn't stand as well. I got Metamorpho. He looks really cool. You can see some of the details that they painted onto his legs to give him a little bit more interesting there. And now all these looked very good, very close to their screen appearance. It was just they couldn't stand, and many of them did not have the articulation that I wanted. You know, and if they came with bases, I probably would have bought more of these guys, because there's so much more of them. I mean, they've really went beyond just what the series had. And here's Aztec. He does make a brief appearance in the show, I believe. He doesn't have any lines. And Wildcat, he was in a couple of episodes. Again, doesn't stand. Oh, there we go. A domino effect. I do have a couple of villains. So we have Sinestro. And, let's see. Oh, hey, I just noticed Sinestro does not have a ring on his finger. I always thought he did. I don't know. Yeah, look at his foot is way bent, but at least he stands. One of the figures, not really a villain, not really a hero, but it is kind of odd to note that he, out of all these figures, has the most accessories, and that's the gold version of Amazo. And they don't call him Amazo anytime during the series, but that's who he is. And he comes with a mace in the same color plastic as his body. Of course, he is a mimic, so he would be mimicking the mace of Hawkgirl, and so he can hold that. He also comes with a batarang. That's pretty odd. And he has this kind of cool little laser beam eye effect. You just clip it on there and he's going to be blasting somebody with Superman's heat vision. And so yeah. And that's my small little Justice League Unlimited collection. And again, I know there's a lot more figures out there. I think they've done everybody who made an appearance in the show, and then some. They've done Justice League members, Justice Society members. I'm sorry. They've done members of the JSA who didn't make an appearance. They've done members of the pseudo JSA, the Justice Guild of America. So, you know, they had a great selection of characters. Unfortunately, the rest of the figure just wasn't up to my standards for collecting stuff. I think if I had gone back and thought about it now, I would probably actually collect this line mint on card, because they're much more interesting to look at in the package than the nuisance they are trying to get them to stand. I actually keep them away in a box now, and I just dug them out because I thought it'd be fun to look through, because I got those two other guys from Aethers 69. So thank you for those, and I hope you enjoyed my brief look at my little Justice League Unlimited collection. And yeah, it was fun to bring these out and take a look at them again. So stay tuned for more reviews, and until my next video, I'll see you.